Okay, so we've got our headline, our introduction, we've got our body copy or text. So the next thing we're going to do is there's the big T over here. It's called a drop cap. So actually what I want you guys to do is write at least the first 2 paragraphs of the copy that's in your layout, because it's just going to make it a lot easier to refer back to your original layout and how you've adapted that to the different styles, your type-driven, your headline, and your image-driven layouts. So the opening copy that I have here, it says the devil wears pumas. So I'm just going to go and key that in here. Okay, I'm just going to do the first line, but when you guys do your layouts, just make sure you're doing at least the first 2 paragraphs of the copy that's in your magazine. Okay, so the devil wears pumas. So that has a drop cap here that, let's just zoom in here and have a look at the details. So the drop cap of the T, of the devil wears pumas, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So we want a T that is the height of the first 4 lines. So what we're going to do here, let's just zoom in a little bit. We're just going to highlight that T, and then it's in your paragraph panel, so make sure paragraphs is highlighted. In the top right menu of your paragraph panel, just click on that and you'll see a menu item which is drop caps and nested styles. So just highlight that, and we just come up with, it's a very simple way of producing drop caps. So we have 4 lines, so it's going to be the height of 4 lines, and we're just making a drop cap of the first character. So just click OK to that. And then we have our drop cap. Now from here you can see that the type is not quite the same, so at this stage you should go and explore different fonts, just to make sure you are choosing something that is close to your layout that you're reproducing. So I'm just going to quickly change that. I think it might be a Dido. Not quite. A little bit closer, but just keep exploring. Just make sure you're choosing something that is close to your magazine layout. Okay, so we have now a bit more of the puzzle that we've created. The next thing I'm going to do is, so I've asked you to scan images from the magazine layouts that you're doing, or you can even search for them online. So I've actually found the image online. I just did a Google search of Vogue, Susie Forbes walking 9 to 5, and I actually found that image. So I've saved that to my desktop. So we're just going to bring that image in here now. You can either do Command D as a shortcut, or you go to File and Place. And that's just going to locate the file on your computer. Let's go to Desktop. That's in Magazine Grid. Susie Forbes. So I'm just going to place that on the page. Okay, so that's a little bit big at the moment. So what we want to do is reduce that. So to reduce that, you can either choose the scale tool. So this is the scale tool here. Just click on that. Remember to always press Shift, because that's going to scale the object with the correct ratio. It's not going to squash it or expand it. So just press Shift and just reduce that. The other way to scale things is by pressing Command and Shift. If you just drag the corners, you're going to crop the image, because what happens when you place an image inside InDesign, it automatically puts it into a clipping mask. So if you move that around, you're just going to crop the picture. So what you need to press is Command, which allows you to scale the picture. But if you press Command and Shift, you're going to scale the picture with the correct proportions. So just make sure you're always pressing Command and Shift when you're scaling images. So that image of Susie Forbes, so that goes right to the outside edge. It covers 2 columns and it's just above those 2 smaller blocks of copy. So from there we can now easily gauge where that image is going to be scaled to. So Command Shift, and I'm going to just scale that image. So just to the 2 columns and just above that block of text. So if we hide the guides, we can see there now we've got a pretty good representation of our layout. Let's just try and put those side by side. So I think that's looking pretty good. So from here, the other things you're going to need to add, you'll need to add, there's a caption to the photo here. You need to put that in. So that's just using the text box. You've got the name of the segment in the magazine. You've got viewpoint up here. Don't forget the folio, which appears at the bottom of the page here. So here we've got just a very simple folio. It's just a number. Some folios include the magazine name, it includes the month. If it's just got the number, you can just include that. We've also got just some details here on who's taken the photo, or in this case, it's who's done the hair and makeup. So make sure you're including all these little captions and things like that in your layout. So I think that's about it for this video. Once you have all the elements, you can then just easily play around with the elements to produce your image heavy layout, or your copy heavy layout, or your headline heavy layout. Try and use the same grid structure. So if you've created your first one using a 3-column layout, so from here, if you go ahead and do your headline heavy layout, try and stick with the 3 columns. I think it's just going to make it easy for you guys because you've already set up your grid structure, so keep within that same grid structure. For your second set of layouts, you can choose your more adventurous layout. So whether the copy is in a circle, or whether the copy is in a different sort of a shape. For your second set of 3 layouts, you can choose something that's a little bit more adventurous. But for the first one, I think just try and attempt something that is more conventional, where you can see the margins clearly and the column widths and the gutters.